This is part 2 of timing belt removal and replacement 2007 Hyundai Elantra. This car. And I've taken the cover for the top, the timing belt cover. I've taken the bracket out. I've taken the pulley for the water pump off. Then I loosened up the alternator, and with a bolt here and then an adjustment bolt here. There's one bolt down here that's kind of like a little bit of a pain in the ass on the cover, but you know, you'll figure it out. And then at the bottom, what I did was put the breaker bar, and I think that's I'm not sure what size that is. I think it's 22 or something like that. But then my friend's gonna go turn the wheel. I mean, turn the key. Yes, and then he just reminded me that I recommend that you disable the secondary ignition, meaning disable the coil pack so that there's no spark going in. You don't want that thing starting on you when you try to crank it, so disable it. All we want is to use the torque from the starter to break that crankshaft bolt without having to use a pneumatic. Go ahead. All right, see, it's loose right there. All right, we'll continue in a minute. And now we've opened the cover, and you're gonna see a little I'm gonna shine a light back here. Back there, there's a little tab. See the white mark on the gear? There it is in the middle. It's got to be lined up with the block. Well, that's not the block, that's actually the cover. I think it's the oil pump, but you see that line back there? That line has to be aligned with that white mark on the gear. Okay, that's the bottom timing mark. And then at the top is going to be aligned with, there's going to be, you're going to see a little red mark in the back. In the back of that, there's a red mark. Let's see if I can shine it. There's a red mark back there, and you should be able to see it through that little hole. Through that hole, you should be seeing that mark. There's a mark in the back. I'm trying to see if I can catch that damn thing. Yeah, but trust me, you see it, and there's a red mark back there. Okay, so it's got to be lined up with that little hole. And then you're lined up, and then you loosened up the tensioner. You got to loosen up this tensioner, and then take the timing belt off. I'm gonna do that next. So we're back here. I've installed the timing belt. I took this completely off, the tensioner, so that I didn't have to fight with it much. And the way you adjust it, once you have the belt in, you just start this bolt on it, and you use I use the Allen wrench to adjust it. If you see where it's pointing, so it's got a good tension. So everything's tightened up, and I've installed the AC belt. I installed the crankshaft pulley, and now I'm getting ready to put the alternator and water pump. Then I've already installed the timing belt cover, the bottom one. You have to raise up the engine a little to make it easier for you to go in there. So you have to install this before you install the water pump pulley. Then I'm gonna go ahead and install enable the secondary ignition, so that when you crank the, these things are notorious for breaking, but I hope this one didn't. So anyways, sometimes you forget to do that and say, oh shit, the car's not starting. And it's because you didn't enable the secondary ignition. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Dale. I've finished installing all the belts and the adjusters and the motor mount and the cover. Everything's been finished and we're going to start it. Cross your fingers. Ali. Hey, it purrs like a kitten. Another good job.